restaurant. What's the grease pencil? D plus Latinos. Even better. It was sick. Dope music. Alright, sorry about that. Did I just stuck around? Maybe you did. Okay. For real this time. Reanimation. Streaming. Blender. For editing. Dope ass attacks for. Hold on. Sick ass attacks for dope ass hyena. Alright, time for cashews. There's this dude I worked with that cracked me up. Like, no matter what people said, because I work at a YMCA and work at the front desk. He's a really nice guy. His name's Kevin. And people would come in and, like, you know, just say hello or whatever. And, like, just like, no matter what they say, he'd be like, alright. Alright. Is there a way to, like, clear grease pencil? Just like all of it? I know I can go back, but... So, let me, snap. Try to open this kiss and, like, the tag just ripped off. Some chocolate going, get some cashews going. Chocolate and cashews is so good together. Did this one yesterday. It's looking pretty sweet. I had some hair flops. Might be too floppy, but who cares? I touched up a few things. One noteworthy thing to mention is that, I mean, it kind of depends on your system, but before we had it, so this, like, this total neutral frame was like right the very first frame. And sometimes this is okay, but I find it's better. I feel like that's a wasted frame. Let's just put it that way. Because if your attack is starting, you might as well just do it right here. Or even like a few in like this. Especially if you're blending. Even if you're not like actually doing 3D real blending, but just having attacks go from one to another. Sudden snaps into a new pose aren't that alarming if the motion sort of just keeps going. You know what I'm saying? Like if it just going from attack to attack generally just looks good. So when you go from like here and then just like back to an attack. But if you go like all the way down here, it kind of adds to that jarringness. Like if you go all the way back here. Anyway. Something to keep in mind. I'm going to refresh this real quick. We got Final Fantasy 13-2 rolling in. On the ones and the twos. Not sure what that means. Is that just like... Is that the beats or is that the two turntables? I like not knowing. It's like my interpretation of memes. Like without knowing the context, text is often a lot funnier. Well, it's looking pretty hype. But I have a couple more ideas I want for him. So these dudes are going to be like the first sort of like duel type enemy where you have to engage a little harder with like offense and defense. So they're going to have a little bit more variety in their attacks and stuff. So let's go ahead and just copy this one. 2F hyena B/. So I'm going to call it like uppercut. And we will, however, start... Shit, that's loud. Sorry. Put 2 left for you too. Oh no, I got it down really low. I don't know if I can go lower. Right, insert that. Go ahead and delete it all. It's going to be a longer attack, so I will, I think, pull this out just so I have that in mind. You know, it's always easy to just sort of scale out an attack. Well, except for what I've been doing lately where I have all this like staggered stuff, which is good in the end, but when you're first starting out, especially this thing, it's like there's tons of shit. It's like it'd be hard to sort of scale it out. Because like, if you just, like what I mean by scale it out, sorry, I'm getting off track a little bit, but you generally would just want to do something like this, where you just like make the startup like slower. That way like the slash part is still fast, you know what I mean? Because we don't want to do this, where you scale it out like this, because then the whole thing is just slower. You know what I mean? Like that slash, it doesn't look that bad. And you know, I actually, actually do that a bit in the actual engine, just to have something to easily, you know, increase the difficulty of an attack or whatever, reduce what, you know what I mean. Ideally, I would use some curves, and it wouldn't be that hard to implement. Like, so that way you could just curve out this part a little bit slower. Sorry, I'm really off track, but anyway. For minor adjustments, the scaling out uniformly doesn't have that much of a negative impact. So, got this bad boy. Look. So I'm thinking, it's a little tropey. See it a lot. But I feel like it matches the character. Sort of like a, he like drags the sword along the ground a little bit, slashes up with it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like in a good mood. I went for a walk. I need to do it more often. I try and do it like in between sessions, but I haven't gone for a walk or a bike ride in like over a week. I feel bad. I usually do it every day. Alright, let's get to it. So, I'm gonna step out a little bit here. Gonna insert another frame. I could have copied it too. Shift D. Like this. Shift D. Oh, you may have noticed, or if you haven't noticed rather, you can select an entire key by right-clicking the very top one here. And you can select individual keys like this, you know. So what are we? 10 frames? That's good. We'll do that. Probably going to be longer, but gives us some space to mess around with right here if we need to. Actually, I'm going to do 12. It feels better for some reason. So, he's coming up with his you know, this is going to be drawn back to his right side. Like this. So we're going to step forward first. And he's going to be like leaning forward and like pushing with that, you know, with his left side as he drags the sword behind him. So we're going to grab all these, rotate, right. We'll just keep it simple at first. Do this. We'll do some more adjustments. Just going to insert that. I'm going to check the difference here. And it can be really nice. And if you're doing root-based motion, that's like actual moving the character based on their root. Our root's actually here, but then you'll ignore what I'm about to say, because you'll actually move the character by moving them in an animation. I used to like shit on this a lot, and I still think it has lots of problems, but the dynamism of it is pretty dope. But then there's like other things that aren't dynamic about it, and that's why I kind of don't like it. Anyway, what I'm getting at is, you know, it can be appealing to actually like have him move forward in the animation you know, as we lean like this or whatever. But we kind of want him to stay stationary because we're going to be moving him through, you know, in-game physics rather than his root motion. Root motion, as I keep saying that again, it's like you generally have like a root bone or node. You assign it, you know, in your engine, and you do it based on that. Let me know if you have any questions. So, probably want to rotate him a little bit more. I'm trying to just think in my head a little bit, like how much he'd be leaning, like what way. I gotta stand up and do it myself. So it looks like that left foot would be pointing forward pretty good, I'm guessing. And it depends how much, like, start up, like do we want him to duck down a bit? We'll worry about that in a minute. But I do know the hips are actually pointing forward pretty good. Let's say like a little less than 45, like if 0 is straight ahead. But then the shoulders are like 90 degrees, you know, 3 o'clock. Which is what we got going on right now. But we're going to exaggerate that. But it's good to note that I didn't realize that the feet are probably more like this. And we're going to have to grab our knee target. We'll move the hips first because that's going to adjust our target. So it's front view. Push that forward. Rotate forward, rather. And I really wish I was a little bit better at understanding hip sort of physics and like weight carrying. So I feel like I'm good at designing a lot of these things, but there's a lot of things that I see other animations in other games, and I'm like, wow, your hips look so good. It's like I exaggerate too much or something. I don't know. It's hard to get it. But then at the same time, you know, little things like that make it your own style. But that's a way I feel like I can improve at least. So this one's twisted all the way, but these two are lined up a bit still. So in order to make it more smooth, we're going to rotate the stomach a bit too. What am I saying? Rotate the shoulders, sorry. That makes more sense. Now it's more stretching out through all those bones. So, oh, I love this song. I'm kind of at the chamber here, which is like right before the impact. I talk about this a lot, but chamber is when you like have all your tension built up. It's not like a super universal term, but in martial arts it's generally used for like your kicks because you're all like cocked up. Some people might say for punches. I think it's apt for like anything. It's when you have all your stuff ready to rock. You're about to explode. Fight. So he's dragging this behind. Grab the head. Look forward a bit. Grab the actual head and turn it. It's looking cool already. And, you know, I'm keeping that. I mentioned yesterday how I heard this animation talk, and it was like just a bunch of quick tips. Like it was like a ton of presenters, and they all just presented 3 things. Then they had like a lightning round at the end, which was dope. Well, one dude talked about how animals, you know, organisms generally like to stabilize their head when they can. And so I'm going to try and like keep that in mind. So if I have something that's like moving his head, and this guy will be particularly interesting because their neck is so long. And so as I do that, at the very least it'll give us, you know, sort of new motions. We're going to keep the head a little more central, but still have these like turns and stuff. So that's almost there. I wonder if we could just come up a little bit more. This back foot is just already... I'm going to slide it forward a little bit. Actually, I think I have it pretty far forward, which was not exactly... It's going against what I had said. Do this, and then don't forget our shoulders. It's one of the most, I say this a ton, it just goes a super long way in creating really good animations. So this hand's coming up to sort of lead the motion. You know, just sort of the biomechanics of it. Normally put a little bit far forward, but considering how his armor gets in the way, if I pull it to the side like this, it's kind of clipping in, so we're gonna put it about here. It's a little too much. We'll pull it to the side a little bit. Plus, you can see this thing shrinking. This was skinned really poorly. Just ignore that part. Getting things to move, line up right with motion is so hard. Yeah, it can be. You can get a lot of what people have been criticizing my stuff already for. But you see it in Smash Brothers too. Not like everyone loves Smash Brothers, but just a lot of sliding around. But yeah, that's another benefit of using root motion. And I don't know all the specifics of root motion, like what you can and can't do with it. Like how much physics you can actually apply to it. I mean, it's got to be some amount, right? Like, so already it's looking a little weird. I feel like they should still lean forward. Let's get this hand back. That's part of the problem. And if you think about that motion, this elbow tucks in super hard. So you're going to be doing this. You're going to bring it down so it's easier to see. Again, we want our elbow bent because it's going to create more power. But considering the animation, we're going to pull it out a little bit. And it's a little off center there, so we're going to do one of these. I try not to animate this bone too much, but there's going to be circumstances where it's just better. Because I want most of the motion to happen through the sort of actual swinging, and this is just the rotation of the wrist. You generally don't rotate your wrist too much. But this is a special case, like I said. Also, thanks for joining me again, my man. And everyone else. I'm actually going to pull this up because I want that sort of drag gesture. This is a real thick sword, so it's kind of hard. But considering this motion, it can drag a little bit, or clip a little bit, what I mean, because this is the ground level and this sword's going to clip through. So this isn't quite looking how I want. I'm going to step this foot out a little bit. I'm just going to go a little more aggressive here. Peeking under like that, looking pretty cool. Oh yeah, that's much better. It's torqued up, looking crazy. I shouldn't say crazy. Looking, I mean crazy in a good way. I don't know. We need more words. It stings how much, like, even if you consider like the word lame, which I use a lot, it's like that too is offensive. What are we doing anymore? This probably wouldn't be bound up as much. As much as this looks good, I wonder if this should just be way out more. open. Oops, went the wrong way. I'm gonna open this up with this palm up a little bit. It just feels like a little bit better. And I guess as I do this in real life, it's more like this. And then this is dragging behind like this. Okay, 7. I wonder if that's accurate. If it is, thanks everyone for joining us. So this is looking cool. Now I understand, like that is such a cool tip. Like I feel like I don't fully grasp it yet. Because there's a lot of moves where it's like I don't understand like why. Like, so I've only copied 2 moves. Because I was thinking about because okay, Kane and I were talking about just stealing in general versus like remixing because there was a certain post that happened. Anyway, I was going back to Ace's Wild and it's like, goddamn, every one of Ace's moves is stolen except for like his basic combo. But most people don't know it. Except for one, it's kind of obvious, but it was like all of them and I was like, really? Shit. I mean, what was I talking about? Oh, one of the moves I stole in this, and I didn't do it straight up, but it's Stinger, you know, from Devil May Cry. The gesture was just so good, and I didn't understand it. So I'm just like, all right, I'm just gonna copy this because I don't get it. Like, why does this look so good? I'm gonna rotate him out a little bit more. We're gonna exaggerate a little more than you would normally, obviously, for video games. But again, that tip is like how organisms like to stabilize their head in the middle. Because if it's not, then like you're flying all over the place. You get disoriented, you know, his head's like popping all over the place. You'll get dizzy, things like that. So it's really cool. So like a lot of times I'll see this stuff, see cool animations, and they line up the bodies in ways that I didn't totally understand. It's like, why does that work? And this is like shining a little bit of light on that, so I like that. So that's looking pretty cool. Just see right here. This isn't going to be the start of motion. I'm just sort of thinking about it. Just going to step in. Maybe even like glide forward a little bit. Okay. So this is kind of chambered. It doesn't seem like totally chambered yet. And this is going to be another special case. I really want to emphasize. I want to give at least a little bit of purpose as to why this is sort of like digging into the ground. You know? Even though it may be like super stupid in real life. Doesn't make any sense. But at least sort of make some sort of fakey physics reason behind it. Like flicking your fingers, you know what I mean? Like generate a lot of power by like having it like torqued up and then letting it pop out. And, you know, we'll try and sort of make that up for this. Whoops. So that would mean this one is probably a little more like this then. And we're going to be adjusting this a lot. Sort of scoping this out. This is a little far out now, I don't like it. Well, Irony's a singer. Good afternoon, everyone. Fab, my beautiful boy. I'm learning Blender because I saw you streaming your modeling. Cool. I was doing well until I had to make an elbow. Yep. I'm actually extremely proud of how these elbows turned out. If you watch the stream for this one, oh, except I did a couple things off stream for that. But they're hard, yeah. It's hard. I don't know what to tell you. But I get most of it down in, we'll just hit it real quick. You know, I start with cylinders. Then the first step I take is doing the wrist, which is like a squash cylinder like this, because that's what wrists look like. Oh, and there's another tip that I heard that I never got to work, but I did this time, because I hate wrists too. is you do a little bit of a twist. You can see it here. I twist it a little bit. And that's so when it untwists, you have a little bit of pull, you know, coming this way. And it's blended better, but it means it won't pinch as much. You know, these will blend a little bit like this. And it actually turned out, I tried it before and I'd hurt the tip. Like, it's a standard practice even. It just was not working for me. Anyway, you want 3 extra loop cuts in your elbow. Try and follow anatomy a little bit. You'll want top of the forearm. This is exaggerated, but even on like a skinny character or something. Top of the elbow goes up higher. You know, forearm rather. Goes up even into the upper arm. And then, you know, the biceps come through here. And that way, when this bends, why does that always happen? Right here, you can see, you know, the bicep goes in to the pit of the elbow. And that can be really helpful. And this one, you know, I don't have a lot of practice with this yet, but it's a few years now. But this is the best elbow I've ever made. But they aren't hard. Yeah, it's worse than Ace Wild because all the moves are different. Context do different things. Where he's not Slayer and he's longer the move. Yeah, it's true. Forgot I stole that move too. Okay, so let's dupe this frame. And we're gonna just get to our actual chamber. This is more like the drag. And then we're gonna push forward a little bit more with these hips. You know, bring them all the way forward. And again, when you're turning towards your lead foot, you're not gonna rotate all the way. You're gonna stop rotating, generally, facing, the easier way to put it is you're gonna face your hips. And because you have this foot forward, your hips are generally going to stop rotating right here as they face forward. So if you want to rotate more, you're going to want to turn these feet, bring them out to the side. That way the hips have more room to rotate, and then the rest of the body will follow. So I always talk about hips first, but in a way it's like feet first. But I don't know, it's hips first. So your hips control a lot, I guess. We're going to do that. It's just a little bit of a tweak. We're going to pull this foot forward because it's really pulling on the... Because as we rotate these hips more, it's pulling the foot forward. Let me show that better. It's a classic sort of like punch situation. You know, you're doing a cross. Cross just means dominant hand punch, like a rear hand punch. They're just called crosses. And then we're going to sort of rotate a bit. No, we should do it longer than normal here because we're kind of coming. Nope. This. Actually, it might rotate a lot, but what we want is for this arm to stay back. So we're really torquing up. It's not quite the look I want, but we'll see how this is looking. Well, it's getting there. Excuse me. Kind of pops out a little bit. So we should grab that pivot. But you can always contact me. Fat loves you. I'm on Twitter, or even during these streams. And I would love to help. Again, I'm not an expert, but I'm getting better. This is like popping out a bunch. What's your problemo, dude? Can I not insert that? Still doing it a bit. It's annoying. It's just how that rotation is tweening. Let's see how it looks here. And why are you going out like that? What? Guess I do this a bit. I guess I am pushing it back because I'm trying to counteract this rotation here. Did I not insert that? Maybe I should do something more like this. And this drags behind a bit. Actually, maybe we should start pushing this, because if it's actually the chamber, but yeah, Blender's like super fun. I love 3D. I've always sort of thought in 3D. I remember I had a couple assignments growing up. I did this one called like planar analysis, where it's like you try and just identify planes, like on just like we were doing a self-portrait for that exercise. And I was not trying to sound like braggartly, but I was like the only one who did it right. And I don't know, I've always been sort of a technical artist more than just like a straight up illustrator. That's not looking quite right. So what we want is to feel just like really torqued out. So should I maybe do one of these? Just ruin the motion if the hips came up like that. Let's see. Through. Just the way it's rotating, it's like. Should this maybe do this so we stay sort of like really torqued up? Looks a little bit better. Yeah, especially there. Motion of this isn't great. You like chocobos? Dude, the chocobos in 5x15 are so sick. Kind of leaning a little bit too much to the side here. There's the hips. It'll look better when I do it with just a stomach. Let's see. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. I'll message you video. Thanks, Kicks. Maybe you should take a peek before OH. What's OH? Even though you're a great illustrator. You're very kind, thank you. It's always my New Year's resolution to keep it up, but game dev is a lot of work. So this feels like it's coming. This is the problem. It's like, oh god damn it. I do that a lot. I'm on the wrong key. So my problem is that we need this to be to the side here, because he's going to sweep it forward. But it just doesn't look as sort of bound up, you know, that torque I keep talking about. I wonder if I should push that elbow through this way too. I could also drop this even more. You're going to see that's going to let the arm bend even more. So it's going to, again, create more torque. Torque isn't the right word, just, I guess, potential power. It's looking pretty good. Okay, I should move a little bit faster and do some details later. So we're coming through. I feel like the hand might go a little too low. Check all our angles. So it makes me wonder if I could get away with doing one of these. So it's gonna make it look like the sword's dragging high behind a little bit. Looked good from there. Popped up a little bit too much there. Alright, doesn't look bad. So, we're all torqued up here. And this lasts for like a really long time, so hopefully it'll look like he's getting really, really bound up, like, you know, when you're flicking your finger and you're just like really not releasing your finger yet, and you flick. Usually I only do like 3 or so for the player character, but on the enemy characters, depending on the move, make it last a little bit longer. Or we're going to do our impact. So, I'm going to follow through a little bit more with the hips. Really torque it. We're going to turn these feet out. They're going to come forward a little bit more. Might even come up a little bit. Might actually do this, like he's up on his toes a little bit. And then, the moment we've all been waiting for, the actual attack. As you can see, he's kind of rotating down like that. So hopefully, with all of our physics in place, we're going to lean back a little bit. And again, we don't want to like follow through too much. The idea, again, because we have this left foot forward, that we can't rotate all the way through. That way the motion goes up mostly like this. Because if we were following through, it would be more of a motion going through like this. Or like this. So, to get that, you can see, by moving the body so much, we only have to adjust the sword a little bit. The in-between's pretty cool. Hopefully we see that. Oh yeah, this was like way down. So now, again, get more space. Pull those shoulders up, man. It makes or breaks an animation, I swear to you. So my wrist is all fudged up. Just trying to relieve that wrist a little bit. And I'm going to be going back and forth on, like, maybe he should pull it all the way through like this. I should say extended like that. Adjust his head because it's looking really bad. This song's so cool. Pull his hips back a bit, or excuse me, shoulders. And now we can bring this one down. It's a little bit too much here. There we go. Okay, that's what I was missing. I brought him up, but I didn't like rotate it all the way through. Now we could even... There's the chest, yo. Take this a little bit like that, just give us more room. Push that back. Oh, right. Forgot. It's like, why don't this look? So it's looking a little weird. This isn't quite right. It's kind of ticking me off here. Let's just check that for now. Yeah, so that's not the right motion. It's coming from the side. We'll fix that though. It's a little weird, but I'm kind of understanding that. Actually pull it through. That looks way better. Yeah, you pull it through more like this. Even if you're going up, your body's rotating around, you pull it towards your face a little bit more. Fix his head. Cheat a little bit and translate these. How dare you? God damn it. I do that so much. It's like I was editing the wrong key. Fudge. Man, I inserted that a long time ago. Nope. Whack, dude. Ugh, it's taking me off. Is what we made. Outer Heaven, a shitty thing we watch every Saturday because we hate ourselves. Don't understand, I'm sorry. There we are. It's just not working how I thought it would. It's looking better. Just looks a little bit awkward there. It's not. Oh, I'm gonna freak. Dudes, it's like I click. This happens so much. I click, and then I like go over, and it like takes me to the other frame. Oh my god, dudes. God, it's so annoying, dudes. It's okay. God, it's so... God, I was like, did I fudge and do it again? It's a little weird still. Like... So, like, Outer Heaven isn't a show, it's like a concept. Like, when you do that, that's like you're going to Outer Heaven, is that my understanding? That's pretty funny, if that's what it is. Dudes, this is so pissing me off. It's also just kind of extra hard because this hyena dude, it's got the weird head, long neck. Sorry, this is like taking longer than it normally would. Suppose it's just not easy with this dude. Still not great. Give me the pose I want, dudes. I think that's part of the problem. I think his head probably wouldn't lean forward like that. He would look forward. Even if he had a long O neck like that, he wouldn't. That's looking better. Still not great. We'll get there. It's like Midnight Channel, but for shitty 80s, 90s. So, is it like... This is like real? Like in like airwaves? Or like, it's like internet? I don't understand. It's dope though. Bring this hand back. Alright, let's check this motion. See, that's the problem. It's like, maybe I should try. It's kind of jerky. I don't know why. In the way, this is not normal. It's not what you do. That makes it look okay. That makes it look actually pretty badass. Ugh, harder than I thought it would be. But I'm gonna correct the motion of this weapon pivot first. Looking good, elbow. So just do these. Dude, why you gotta be a hater? This motion is not doing what we need. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm not talking as much because it's ticking me off and I can't figure it out. So I follow through, just do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Basically just push all the motions a little bit. Can't tell which way that's rotating. And hold them for a long time. Looking alright. That doesn't look great though. The side views look dope. Not perfect, but at least it's like a good motion. Still comes away to the side, ticking me off. Just don't know if I can like get away with this. We can have a couple frames that are like janky, as long as it creates like a great motion. See, we're coming through. I would guess do one of these, do one of these, do one of these. Let's see. Not quite. Let's see. We're sleeping through here. Maybe we just follow through this, and then just bring it down. One of these. Did I rotate that the wrong way? It's a little bit better. It's a little mechanical looking, but we're on our way. You need to do maybe is just pull it out. It's still mechanical looking. Part of it's because it's only moving in the arm, so we want to kind of pull that through with the rest of the body. A little bit better. Just something not good about it. This is not strong. It's not like how your power is generated. It's like, that's bad too. I want to go one more frame because it's an enemy attack. I'm thinking now, so what's like the only way we can get this to the side? It's like, well, if we rotated our body more this way. Why in this character everything looks great from the side, but can't get anything to look good from the front? So it's looking better. One thing I found about first time modeling was how mad I got. That was cool. Can't wait, animation. Yeah, animation's really fun. Internet, if you want in, I can give you the hot links. Yeah, I might hit you up on that later. Perhaps Elbow should be extended for a bit longer. It's just, I mean, it's complicated. Because you can do that. You can, like, do some of this. And, you know, that gives us a good pop. Yeah, maybe you're right. That looks pretty good on that one. Hey, you know what? Thank you. It's just that's not always the right answer, but it looks like this time. It's looking pretty good. There we go. Crowdsource. Bring that shoulder up more. Seriously, thank you. It was a good thought. This though, like, I don't want to like key it like every single frame, but might need to. It's looking good. It's a little bit floppy at the beginning, partly because I got rid of this like hip movement. But that looks pretty good. That wind-up's looking nicer now. We could really do, if I can get it right, because the hand IKs are a huge pain in the ass and they don't have like a little helper. So if we grab this, actually look here. So the hand's gonna like go a little bit sooner. But it would be nicer if it was a little more exaggerated. Because you put that hand up, you throw it to the side to create that torque. Actually, maybe we should go down. Follow that through. Wonder if I should delay the shoulders. Oops, you gotta do it on this one. See how that looks. Looks worse. What I need is like right here. It's just not very much tension. Ooh, we should delay the weapon pivot. Some of that. A little bit better, but then we get some weird flop at the end. Ugh. Art's hard. Why does the side view look so baller? Also, I'm thinking, grab the hips here. Have that hip action happen a little bit sooner, so he leads forward faster. Gonna need more of a blend here. So let's actually grab this one, pull it forward, also drop it down. But then we need it to stay down. A little bit longer. Actually, let's see if that works. It's a little bit better. Starts rising up a little too fast, doesn't look good. We want that hip to happen faster. And we'll pull that up just a little bit so that motion continues. There we go, it's looking a little bit better. Do want this like step forward to be like more dramatic maybe. So again, it's a little bit weird because they're going to be stepping forward and they slide it back. Although, if I just like that looks a lot better. Let's make him lift his foot a little bit here. He's stepping out. That's pretty hot. This right in here just needs to be a little bit better, but I don't know how to tackle it. Excuse me. I have no experience in animation, but I'm an avid amateur kinesiologist. Kinesiologist and exercise scientist. Dope. You could say I am an amateur doctor of sorts. Sweet. Amateur surgery, the best kind. Art is hard, famous art guy probably. Hey bud, still doing game effects or having any plans to stream in the future? Yeah. When I get like some core enemies I want down, I gotta start adding effects for them. The corest gameplay in this game is a combat, and it's like fluctuating all the time. It's really pissing me off. But so some of those effects, you know, before I really find some that I love the most, I'll be working on those effects for those. Yo, my man. Is that Final Fantasy 12, 13? I even read it again. 13.2 in the background. Yes, it is. It's great. You're not developing for mobile, aren't you? I am not developing for mobile. Left leg's looking real good. Thanks. Yeah, and that stuff, you just keep adding it. Like, yeah, little details. It's just this. Like, better. Not like these hips should be forward one or two. That's a cool pose right there. That's what I'm talking about. That's why I do games. Boy, this still looks good. Just clipping a lot now. Bleh. Do not think that will look good. That doesn't look awful, but it's not so bad actually. The elbow is in an impossible spot, so I might adjust that a bit. Where my elbow at? Is that it? No, it's the hair, I think. No, it's the neck IK, which I don't even use. I'm gonna hide that real quick. Alright, right elbow, where'd you go? Where is it even? Oh, it's down here. It's invisible. Nope, not the tail. Weapon pivot, please. It's pretty hot. We're gonna really punch up that tension when we're like winding up here. We'll do a few things to do that. That gets a little whack. Pops up here, I don't know why. Good luck, Kicks. Thanks for streaming. Thank you for joining us. Let me know if you have any questions. Is this his new one-man army project? Yeah, I'm stupid. Getting better though. I have done a lot of stuff that I don't even know if we'll make it. I mean, I'll make it in. I've learned so much. I keep learning, and I'm like, well, that means I have to redo all this stuff. And it's not like total redos because it's 3D. Like, and I'd like to do a stream on environment stuff for this game. Besides just making the assets, I mean, like, just some stuff I've learned. And if I was paying attention to games a little bit more, I just never pay attention to level design. I pay attention to like level aesthetics, but I'm just bad at level design and like level implementations. Like I'm always looking at like virtual effect and animation implementation and just what they do and how they affect, you know, gameplay and feel. But like level stuff is like, ooh. Anyway, one of my big lessons is tall ceilings. Because if you think about it, it's like a lot of 3D action games, you know. You have this top-down view. I mean, it's kind of behind the character, but a lot of it's top-down. And that necessitates tall ceilings. And it goes a long way. Which kind of stinks, because I kind of want the sort of claustrophobic feel. But it's important to keep in mind, like one of my locations right now, these could stand to be a little bit taller. So I'll have to do that. It's a little too short. Again, which kind of stings because I like the feel of it as I'm running through it, but maybe there's other options, but so I mean this is pretty good. Maybe we can move on to something else. Okay, let's do a better follow through. Not that much. It's a lot better. Probably have that. Rotation here, come all the way through, and then he'll correct it as he gets closer. Like that. It's like hard to even notice. Boop, 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 boop. This version of the, I don't know what you call that Final Fantasy song. It's just the intro. The Prelude's the other one, right? That one. I can get rid of this now, actually. So we're just sort of like following that motion and then simulating a little bit of weight on that sword. You know, this has to sort of swing over a little bit and then come back. Kind of hard to tell. But despite the exaggerated motions and rotations I'm doing, it's staying pretty smooth, which doesn't always happen. That doesn't look bad. Is that a basic attack or more like a skill or heavy attack? I love devil design so much. I'm very bad at it. From a talk shop. Oh, I know, dude. When I get to it, I'm gonna need help. Thank you. I was honestly wondering that before you started doing interiors. Main drive. You would not enjoy working for a big name company? No, I would not. Is there a reason your keyframes line up so neatly? There's a couple. I wouldn't mind working for Square Enix. I wouldn't mind working for Arc System Works or Platinum. But I want to make my games, you know? It's, all of it's my art, you know? Oh shit, I just threw Kiss everywhere. Kiss wrappers. How do you mean the keyframes, dude? Like, these tall columns here? Like, each one of these? I'm not sure what you mean. Yeah, let me see what you mean exactly first. But yeah, project's my main drive. Basic attack or heavy attack. Yeah, it's I don't know, just another thing to interact with. Sort of the basic mechanics of a lot of action games. I want to extend it beyond this, but you know, you have different tells, and there's just a different like defensive timing for it. And there's some other things. I guess one thing I can talk about is like tension. It's a mechanic in the game. As you block attacks and use like armored attacks, you get like white life over your health. It's like fighting games, but you can use that for other stuff. But if you take damage, you know, you lose more life. And blocking will give you more tension, but that lets you use some strong attacks, do different things, gain health, and you know, certain enemy attacks may do a lot of tension damage, so you may want to be more cautious about whether or not you want to block it. Maybe just stay out of the way other ways. This one they'll probably use from farther away. I'm interested in doing more of that. Enemies do different stuff from different ranges. It's something I didn't do at all in Aces Wild, and it's really basic, but I found that basic stuff is really, really fun to play with. Like, play in, like, basic stuff executed well is fun. It just works. So anyway, get back to it. I want this to hold a little bit more. So like, it just kind of depends. One aspect, like, you know, when we did this run, I didn't quite do that because, you know, we do a lot of things independently and then we sort of stagger them to give a little bit of like offset and fun, but having it like this, it means I've keyed everything in these frames. So every single one of these. So these are all the different bones, and they're all in this one frame. And as we're getting to, like for this one, it can be helpful because we can, you know, maybe just extend this wind up from here to here. And that's a lot easier if you key in all of it. There's goods and bads to it. So like, if we have all the keys here, then we can just slide this out if we wanted to extend that startup by a frame, and it wouldn't have too much of an impact, except for right here on the stomach. And that might be a big deal, like depending on your animation, because we don't have a key right here, so the timing might be off. That's why it's really hard with like those running things, and like if you're watching the other day, it was like, it can be a pain. And so, okay, so to correct that, let's just key everything in each one. Well, then they're not as like fluid. So it's like, you know, I wanted the stomach to actually blend by itself through all these keys, but now it can't because we have this key here. So it just kind of depends. If you're really solid, you know, happy with a certain spot, you may want to key here. And then you can get like more complicated. I don't ever do it, but you can, I don't do it, so I don't remember how to do it, but you can bring up the curves for everything. And even here, you can bring up like just keying certain things. Like if you just wanted to key the location, and then maybe from here to here, but then like the rotation, you might key just from here to here. You know what I mean? But you can consider these long, tall ones like typical keys that you might see like in 2D, because it's everything, right? But there might be a time where you want a blend to happen, especially with the weapon. I do it a lot. Like I have these two columns here, but I actually want the weapon to blend a little bit more independently all the way through here and here. This makes a huge amount of sense. I don't know what the good practices are. All I do know is less keys. It's like, okay, it's like layers in Photoshop, right? You have more layers, and it lets you sort of have control over everything. But then that can become a little bit cumbersome, right? So you may want to, like, I don't know what the direct analogy would be, but it's similar. Like, I don't know if, like, having more keys... Having less keys is sort of like having more layers, if that makes sense. Because this is like if you just slammed all your layers together, you know what I mean? So it's sort of easy to edit just everything all at once as you see it, but then it's not as, like, dynamic. Anyway, we do want to have some anticipation right here. So, like we were talking about, I might actually hit up a key right here. That way, so I keyed everything, so that way I can drag this out. And so he's coming out. This sort of simulates like an S-curve. An S-curve, you know, if you have a curve that's like this is like your typical curve. And I do a lot of fast in, slow out, which is what we have already. It's like we hit that wind-up point right here, and then we go fast, and then slow out into our attack, you know what I mean? It's like it pops out, and then we slide through right here. From here to here, that's this. You know, we're going slow out. But by keying this here, we're going to go slow first. So it's going to be like this, excuse me, and then fast again, and like that. And so depending on it, you may want different things, you know, just the timing. But that S-curve can be really nice. And really, it's going to be more like one of these. It's going to be slight for a little bit, and then it's going to pop up like that. So you can see they hesitate a little bit right there. It's not quite looking good. So actually, what I might do, first we'll try just extending it, see if that makes it any better. It's alright, it just doesn't seem like tension is building up, just sort of like he's staggering. So we're going to undo all that. Part of it's this weapon pivot. Let's try and just get rid of that for now. Try that. And I think to complement that, we're going to want to actually reduce this. We'll see. So that way, tension is built up like this, and then we pop through even faster. So it's going to be like the same amount of time. You can see it looks more like he's just hesitating there. It's not quite what we want. So we might take, like this one instead, or maybe like, I don't know. I'll have to think for a sec. Again, usually this goes a lot easier. Another thing we could do, similar, but I want it on the way out. We'll try this. Let's see. Also seems like a perfect metaphor. That part is perfect. So I want it on the way out, but we can add a little bit of more tension if we go like right here, insert some keys, pull this out. So it's going to enter that tighter wind up faster, but then hesitate on it and then pop out. So that's almost right. It's not quite looking good. I might just need to make it simple and just... In that case, I do want it to hit that pose a little bit early. Gosh, looks like he's hesitating. I hate that. Let's try that. I hope you'll believe me. Usually this works pretty well. Just cannot get it looking good. I'll just do one. Just a frame earlier hitting that pose. It's alright. Someone knock? Nope. Just not look good. That by itself's looking better. I feel like the song's gone on for like 20 minutes. That I hate it. I mean, it's not like my favorite or anything. Kind of want this to last a little bit longer too, just the very beginning, and even the follow through to be a little bit longer. It's getting there. Did I? Doesn't look like I did. I was wondering. Yeah, because it's still a lot. This just seems like it goes a little fast than I remember. No, it looks good. What was I gonna do? Oh yeah, we'll add a little bit of bounce around for his hair. So, go in here. Here. Just following that motion. Could say maybe rolls this way. Gonna be really minor. Here, we'll roll it back the other way. Pop it out a bit here. That's pretty minor, but... Whoop. A little bit floppy, but that made it look good. Hey buddy, I'm doing a really fast-paced paddle game. Do I need to forget about anticipation? Is there a way around it? Help, please. Sure, Kix is going to have a lot of great things to say, but I think... From essential to preferable. Still looks good though. Yeah, I mean, it kind of depends. I have a little saying that like action games are about reaction. And anticipation is a big part of that. But it doesn't necessarily have to be in your animations. So you think about like manic shooters, you know, they have bullets coming across the screen, and that's the anticipation, right? Then you react to that and you move through it. I'd have to know more about the game. If you need to react to those, I mean, because that's what they're about. It's about reaction. Even like just a regular action, like Mario, you're running through the game, you see the platform, you react to it. It would require a lot. Even like a really heavy timing based game, like a rhythm game. There's still an anticipation with the rhythm, and some games have the notes coming through. It would depend a lot on more details about your game. This is looking alright, I think. Let's look at our other one. A little worried that that's like the same timing. What's our impact? 16 or so? Even though it's slower, it still feels like the same timing. So I was trying to get this like wind up to feel better here. I think we could at least go. Yeah, it makes that look cooler. I like that. They're gonna be like rushing up. I might even try something cool with the head like leaning forward, even though it might not be accurate. What? Grab YY. Excuse me. Oh, that's the wrong one. Head's gonna lean down there. It's minor. I think it adds a little bit though. Very curious about your game though. Multiplayer fighting game. Yeah, exactly. Like if you watch, check out Extra Credits. They actually have a recent post. They have an old post about animation games. Let's see, is it Punch Out? I think it was called like Extra something or Design Club. Animation to punch out right there. Look at that. Design Club, animation to punch out. They also have extra frames. And animation of Monster Hunter Combat, which is all about like anticipation frames. Both of those talk about how, you know, like Smash Brothers, super, you know, it's 3D game, super smooth animation. You hit a button, you know, 4 frames later, the sword has to be out and hitting something. You want game feel over anticipation. Some moves you want anticipation. It's, you know, it's how you're balancing the game. That's a very large topic. Yeah, exactly. That's what fighting games are all about. That's why they're great, because you invent anticipation and intention. And with some moves, you know, like Ryu's Fireball, that one has anticipation on purpose. And again, you use that as a tool. There's a balancing aspect to it, but it's also a tool. But yeah, spacing, you know, if you're watching Street Fighter V, shimmies are crazy good in it. People are getting better at dealing with it now, but... And that's common, that's not new to Street Fighter V, they're just really good in this. Where you get really close. Here comes a throw, just kidding. But there does need to be some sort of anticipation. I mean, multiplayer games are about reading your opponent. It's not all about reads. It's not all about reads, but that's why it's fun to play other people. It's because you're playing their mind and their skills. Feel like it's a little too floppy. It's kind of fun though. It's neat how the rotations sometimes just create real natural movement. But this is better. Yeah, I like this. Alright. I think I'll take a little break. We'll be back. I want to make some more attacks. I gotta think about what I want to make. I'm really interested in those like long range stuff. I really wish I would have done it in Aces Wild. It would have been... Anyway, that's in the past. And Aces Wild is a different game. The character of attacks are a little bit more important in this game rather than the mechanics. It's still mechanics, but it's... That's looking pretty hot. But I would like some sort of like pounce attack. I think that would be fun. Alright, sweet. So I'll be back shortly. Back in a moment. Heart. I can't believe some people can like do digital illustration with the mouse. They're wizards. One sec. I will be back. You gonna do that to me? I can't. Alright, whatever. Back in a moment. Oh, it's gone now. Back in a moment. back with candy. Actually, it's kind of fun that it's like he swings and it's like back in a moment. Didn't miss any of my good songs. Save that. Cool, thank you for the follow. Those people are cray cray. What people? Extra credits? Sweet. Yeah, you want your impacts to be I guess that's something you could mention. Like you know, you'll see smears a little more often. Well, you don't necessarily have to have smears, but like whoop, that's not the right one. One thing is you want like your impacts to be really clear. So, you know, you can see these big long limbs. But Guilty Gear uses smears a lot. So it's like the sword sweep, you know, will be coming around here. Because you need to inform the player like where your hitboxes are, things like that. If you can see, there's not much anticipation of these moves. They look great, but there's a bit of a wind-up. It depends on the move. You know, with like projectiles, like there's like Ryu, there's a startup, and then the projectile itself is anticipation. And you can kind of combine that. Like you think of like Samus from Smash Brothers. She can charge her shot, and then hold it, and that creates new dynamics. You know, again, it's like a really complicated subject, but looking good, dude. You got a lot going on. Let me think for a sec. I had something basic I could do. Dude, this looks good. I wasn't like into it as much, but another thing to remember is moves that are fun to defend against and to use are true victories of game design. Like, they'll add so much to your game. I think that's why fireballs are so fun. As much as I love punching and never play a fireball character. Thinking, you know, some pretty standard. Just, oh, that reminds me. I want... sort of extend this out. Set for this foot. That would be too much. Just kind of don't want this first frame to be... Slide that over. Take this head here. There's a bit of a weird pop with the head because I added that new frame. Deleted the wrong thing. I was like, it's not doing anything. Put IKs on the legs, arms, and the spine. Sweet. Do you know how to hide certain bones that you might not be using? Because I have like a ton of bones. Maybe you know this already, but I have like a lot more bones. But I have layers, so I'm not having to deal with those all the time. But you press M to move. That's how I think of it, M to move. And you do it on a new layer. And then you can keep it hidden. Anyway, copy this over. Do hyena leap. I like that. It'll be similar to this attack, another ranged attack. Delete all these. Excuse me. Maybe even like a bite or something. I don't know. Like biting anybody? Big mouth. Looks so surprised. Crunch. Leap attacks are kind of tropey too. You just see them a lot, but again, I keep going back to like projectiles. They're a little more. I don't want to say always like more fun to dodge, but they're real fun to dodge. And by having like a leap sort of attack where you have like more anticipation, but it's like from farther away, it's just fun. One of the last things I did in Aces Wild, I had a lot of attacks where like enemies started from far away. Instead of like getting close and like have a little bit of anticipation, they started far away, or they sort of moved out of the way and wound up their attack and then came back in a rush. So let's think for a minute. Because I mean, there's just like a classic like overhead sort of slash, but these guys aren't very conducive to that because of how I rig this. You could probably get away with something like. Probably won't even end up using this, but I'm just a little curious to see where I can take it. So I think I like the idea because it's more like animalistic, like a pounce. So it'd be like a pose. Sorry, this song gets really high if I love it. and it's like sort of a pounce. It's gonna be like a sword attack, but it's like a pounce. You can right click in the view, or you can left click over here to select bones. Just a little tip in case you can't see it in the scene, but you know the name. Insert all those. Just messing around with the pose here, trying to get a good pose. Excuse me. A little worried it's similar to his other attack, but because the motion gonna be it's gonna be really similar now the more I think about it, but I like the idea. Maybe he could, like, let me think for a minute. I mean, I guess it's okay. Just try and make the gesture as unique as we can compared to the other one. Just really low to the ground. It's looking pretty cool anyway. Mom's cooking up some taco meat. Taco nights are the best. Hot take, taco night better than pizza night. Fight me. I guess we live on the East Coast like some people. Hey, what games do you usually look to get inspiration to keep animating? I've been looking at animations a long time. To get inspiration, I don't really look at much. I mean, that's not true. That's not true. But I've been lucky lately. I haven't looked at much. But it really depends. Like again, like for this dude, like I really like his animalistic stuff. So it's going to be a pretty simple horizontal slash, similar to his other one. But it's going to be more like a Predator style. Not Predator the movie, but, you know, like an animal predator. Sort of just pounce. You know, mixed with that. But if you want good sword slashes, look at Soul Calibur. I look to that a lot. You know, just get different ideas for motions. Maybe you have an idea, you want like an upwards motion or whatever. But, it just kind of depends. Of course, I look at Third Strike a lot. Not just for animation ideas, because Third Strike is this neat style where it's like... there's nothing too fancy. But they just inject a little bit into their attacks. You know, he has Flash Chop, Alex does. And it's... you know, it's just sort of a classic wrestling move where it's just like they do these chops, but they make it, you know, a little more extreme. But really just the natural body motion is what gives Third Strike a lot of its style. I don't know, there's just like a million places you could look. I look at the specific animals a lot. I'm doing a lot of animals in this game, so I look at them, look at their runs. Did the same thing for the run, where it's sort of a pretty standard run, but they have I forget what it's called, but it's kind of, I think it's the same, I think foxes have it too, and giraffes, they run a certain way. I didn't necessarily do that for their feet, but I did it with their head. Like their head like points out a lot in their stride. Let's see, is that 30? So, you know, it's a pretty standard run, but I added like that animal quality to it. Just depends on what you're looking for. If you want sword moves, look at Soul Calibur. So many different characters. Namco's really good at drawing inspiration from things without copying them straight up. Usually, Street Fighter 5 had a lot of, or excuse me, Tekken 5 had a lot of shit that I didn't like in it. But they've since done better in that regard. So I'm just sort of taking that same idea for this next attack. Just make it more predator-like. You know, like mammal predator. You know, look at real fighting, look at anything. Look at robots, you know, look at cars, look at... Really depends. Get a good idea for your character first. And then really embrace that idea. Try weird stuff. Pull these shoulders back a ton. So this is like, I have a bad habit of doing this too, just like keeping things straight. Grab some stuff. Sort of like, so if he's like swinging this way, maybe we could like... Probably not quite right there. We'll think of something like that though. Really bring these shoulders up. There's a lot of weight of the body sort of pushing down. Fuck you, I'm having pizza right now. That's good. Pizza night right now. Dude, it's not like I hate pizza night. It's not like you hate procedural generation. I prefer fajita night. Dude, our tacos are fajita-esque. You know me. I'm a huge snob. Yeah, Soul Calibur. I'm a huge fan of the Kingdom Hearts series. I like how dynamic made the fight. Yeah, dude. No, Kingdom Hearts has some dope animation. Like, real good. Really good visual effects. Just, no, I'm pretty pumped. Oh, I love this song! Got a lot. This song's so sick. So I need that sort of wide shoulder look. So maybe don't bring him down as much. Pull it out even, cheat a little bit. So I think I'm gonna want to rotate the body just a little bit. Yeah. I want the weight to be conveyed, but I also want it to be spread out. I don't know why, it just seems sort of predatory. It probably even isn't, I just like the idea of it. I mean, there's 2D games, like if you want something more punchy, then maybe you should look at like Kirby or something. You know, there's lots of... But just look at good stuff. Final Fantasy 12 has some like surprisingly good animations. Maybe surprising isn't the right word, but it's like, you know, it's like a slower paced game. Dude, that's awesome. You're having pizza night though. Fucking love pizza. Dude, I love pizza, don't get me wrong. It could be that we have like a way bigger Hispanic population. And so I grew up just having really good tacos. So now, looking at this. I don't like how flat he got. I liked it arched better. Seemed more intimidating. That's pretty hot. Hopefully that comes through well enough. They're pretty big. I think we'll still have this cool angle for it. I think maybe try to even arch that a little bit more. See what we can do. Gotta have the mouth open. Sick. Oh, did I not open his mouth on the other one? Hold the phone. Stop the whatevers. Gotta open the mouth. Oh, come on. All the time with that. Close it a little bit sooner, I think. That's tight, dude. I like this. Shoulders up a little, elbows up a little more. There we go. Much better. Yeah, this is looking good. Yep. Dude, I'm like really proud of this dude. He's looking good. Excited to do some bosses. There's some sweet boss ideas, but I can't. Discovery is a big part of this game. I gotta start not posting stuff. Try. Maybe we could extend this all the way. Sorry if this track's a little shrill to you or something. So I don't know. It's hard. Push it with the chest again. With the feet, hold on, I gotta do this. So for doing that, leap forward. Just wondering how the feet would be. I think the right foot would be forward a little bit. How I have it. Widen it a little bit. Bring the knee up a little bit for that guy. It's hard. This arch looks more intimidating here. From the side, it's not as, like, aggressive. Ew. Let's bring it down a little bit. I guess I could try, like... No, because I like the low. It's like a pounce. Snap! Blanket fell off. I'm freezing already. Okay, this is pretty good, I think. This arm's still a little... Where's my elbow? That's pretty hot. Alright, good. I like this a lot. Bring the head up just a little bit. Cool. Alright, so now how do we get into this? these fucking muscles on this tiger, dude. Furry Nation, baby. Let's see. How hyenas fight? I thought they fought kind of. I mean, they scavenge a lot, right? Yeah, they don't even like fight that much. Dude, that's tight. Let's try wolf. Wolf jump. Sick jump, bro. Dude. Oh, that is cracking me up. I don't know what their startup's like. They got their feet way far forward like that. That is so scary. Look how muscular they are! God! Holy shit! So they push their leg really far forward and underneath. So even though we got a hyena going on, it'll give us a good idea of what to try and set up here. It'll be a long attack. It's probably gonna be a few phases. It's gonna be like crouch down, then a leap, then a chamber, and then a hit. I like the song a lot too, but a little loud. I mean, I'd like to simulate a little bit, but it's just a little too humanoid, I think. I guess people kind of can put their feet close together still when you're pouncing. Last time you pounced. Tiger's shoulders are crazy. I'm wondering if more like what's happening? Why are you all twisted weird? Put their feet really far forward though, it's kind of neat. I mean, it makes sense. Let's get that going. If you're ever doing a leap animation like this, think about if you were leaning forward, you know, crouching down and sort of swinging your arms back. Again, the shoulders. They roll up a little bit back. A lot of times when you like do your shoulder action, it's not 100%, but it's like a lot of times they just sort of come up to your ear. It's not even like they're like moving forward or back. So this is a little more human. I wonder if it would be cooler if we did one of these. This cracks me up. Like, I can't get over it. Just tiger muscles. Like someone did art over it. This is getting there. This is kind of cool. What I find neat is how far forward they put their face. They're like really looking. Keep mine arched a little bit just for the character of the character. What to do with this? Would he keep it sort of back or would he tuck it under? I love this song too, it's so dope. I think they would like tuck it to the side, sort of. That's looking pretty cool. Maybe cross it to the front. Yeah, that's looking cool. Nice. Hips off center. Do a little tail wag, it'll make it fun. We're starting it up. I like that. It's kind of sneaky. It's cool. And I think as they like jump out, do that sort of classic animal thing where it's like their legs are extended, but their paws just sort of hang down. A lot of mammals do that. But then they'll go into a more appropriate pose after that. It'll be pretty cool. Duplicate that and jump out of it. Go like this. So yeah, their feet are pretty extended. We're gonna come forward a little bit and then pull the feet back a little bit because again, our motion, the full extent of our motion is controlled by in-game physics. Do a little bit of stretch on the tail. Same with the hair. Yeah, their spines get really... And the hand just hang down like a paw, like a cutie. I like that. This is fun. This is a cool animation. We're going to get this pose, and then we'll get like a chamber pose, and then we'll blend it all together, and then we'll adjust our timings. Because really, this is just going to be almost instantaneous. Like the head might pull in a bit. Even if it does, we're going to do our own thing. And of course, mouth open for coolness. And like the other hand, drop this down a bit. It's like getting kind of limp. Dude, sometimes like the physics looks so good. You can see it's like, it just looks natural. Like, oh man. 3D's crazy sometimes. This soundtrack's so nuts. This is like, I don't know, a sitcom or something. It's so dope. Not even sure where this is in the game. I've never played this game. It's just a dope soundtrack. Whoa. Oh, what if tacos are ready? Yes, I am hungry. Well, back. I'm going to stop the stream. If y'all stick around, if you want to keep hanging, that'd be cool. Not sure how long it'll take. Sometimes I'll chill with the fan for a bit. But I'm like really into this animation. And I went for a walk earlier, and I woke up late, so still feeling good. I really, really got to exercise more. Just since I got cold, I don't. And fudge. Pull these in a bit. But if you take off, that's cool too. Point these feet a little bit more. I really like this. Alright, y'all. Be back in a bit, I think. I will stop the stream. Again, don't stick around. It's cool if you don't. It's alright. Thanks for joining us. If you ever have questions about 3D, game development, art, life itself, I'll have answers. I don't know if they're right, but... Alright, y'all. Thanks for coming, and I'll see you later, probably. Dude, I feel like I'm always like getting good closeout themes.